Any relationship with your father?
What's that? What's a father?
So you're gonna have to deal with my inquiring points I'm gonna try to make in this video because it's approaching midnight and I just got off of 3 hours studying, starting to study for exams coming up. So as you all can imagine, I'm a bit tired. Nonetheless, I couldn't stop thinking about this story about this late artist. I told my I was initially going to do it a few days ago. I decided to hold off and told myself I wasn't going to do it because I didn't have anything to offer substance because there's multiple people covering the same topic and it would just be regurgitation of the same nonsense. But I decided to do it and show some support and solidarity to an artist that I beloved and many other people I beloved, and just address some things that really pissed me off. In fact, I was getting so mad and pissed off by the shit that I was hearing and reading about that in study hall. I was gripping one side of the table as hard as I possibly could because of the anger that I was inducing and just how mad I was getting just by hearing on this. So if you keep up with social media, there's been drama circulating over the last several days. You can look at Twitter, you can look at Instagram, you can look at the articles. I put it down in the description below. You can read them about a rapper or an artist by the name of XXXTentacion. X or Ja is an artist and I'm putting his mugshot on the screen right now as I'm talking in chronological order, of course. Ja was an artist who dives into his emotions more than any other rapper since then. Of course, there's been plenty of artists in the past who dive into their emotions and talk about the positive sides and overcoming, but Ja was raw and real, and some people may take that as corny or weird or just trying to seek attention. This is one of these scenarios. And I'm not going to go into too much detail singing Josh's praises. I think there's a million other videos that can do the same thing, if not better. So this video is not going to be focused on Josh's impact on the landscape of music. This video is dedicated to the scumfuck bitch ass niggas, I don't even know what to call you, the disgusting assholes who think his death is justified and deserved because of his emotions and his mistakes. Bro, this video, well, before I even go any further into this video is going to cover an array of subject material that can be extreme for some viewers. And they're probably saying, Orion, what the fuck are you talking about? This video is going to talk about depression, suicide, drug abuse, addiction, and all that gray. It's going to be a very, very gray area. So if you're the type of person to get triggered by the subject material, I suggest skipping the video entirely or coming back to this at a later point in time, because it's not going to get pretty from here on out. Now, I never been diagnosed with depression, but I know some people within my own family, even within my own family, who took medication for it. There was multiple years in my life where I had dealt with depression, and I was extremely suicidal. I attempted it twice in my own life. The first, I was caught by family. The second, I passed out and nearly died. And the latter situation was due to events stacking up in my life over the course of a couple months that I couldn't take it anymore. And it got to the apex where spring break my senior year of high school, I attempted suicide by overdosing. This can be its own video, and maybe at some point it will be, if need be. But I understand where X was coming from. I can empathize and sympathize with his situation, and just know it takes a lot of strength to commit suicide. But it takes even more strength to get out of that dark hole and inspire others and leave it behind a trail of people who are infatuated with your message and use your message as positivity even long after you're gone. It takes a lot of strength to do that. Let me tell you that. And we live in a nation today where it's talked down upon to discuss mental health. It's been completely overlooked by so many other people where family, too many people cut them off and refuse to help them out, to where you may come up on the screen and people may look at you as a weirdo or a cornball or an attention seeker, attention whore, or trauma dumper, or whatever type of fucked up excuse you want to give, when in actuality you have no idea how depression and suicidal ideation works on people and how it affects people. This man was more in touch with his emotions at the age of 19 more than any other artist since that time. And you got scumbags on the internet saying if he did not if he had not taken the hard route, he would not have been depressed. Even though he was dealing with certain circumstances when he was younger. What I'm essentially trying to say for these people is basically his depression is his fault. And I'm sitting there trying to piece the situation like, you gotta be kidding me. Everyone has made some mistake in their life. And just because this man made a mistake, and yes, I will admit it's a very dumb mistake, but that in no way implies that he deserves to die or he deserves to kill himself because of that mistake. Furthermore, getting personal again, I know a guy, and we're family members, who went to prison. He made a mistake. He's older than me. He made a mistake. He acknowledges his mistake after facing multiple years in prison. We still talk to him. My family still talks to him. People make mistakes. But if people have a level of contrition and people rise and grow and learn from their mistakes, that's what matters. But no. He was becoming depressed, and because of all the betrayal and all the fuckery that was happening around him during his time on Earth. And 7 years later, you got people, scumbags, basically detailing that he's a cornball and he deserved to die. On Instagram, the thread, he had it coming. Your mom is going to be a prostitute. Your mom is going to be dealing with pimps across the corner. You have to deal with your mom getting to domestic abuse, your domestic quarrel with some other guys walking in outside of her home. You have to deal with your uncle committing suicide when you're 6 or 7 years old. That leads to you getting into fights at school every day because you want your mom's attention because she didn't give you any. That leads you into a juvenile program. That leads you out of jail. You get out of jail. You think you have friends that can rely on you, and they manipulate you, backstab you, betray your trust, make you think they're trustworthy, use you as a scapegoat, and you pieces of shit. I don't like to hear myself swear, but that's really what you niggas are. You are fuck ass niggas to actually think that he's justified to die because of his mistakes. No one deserves, no matter what they go through in their life, very few people deserve to be called a cornball for expressing themselves and expressing their emotions. and saying that they deserve to die, especially for the fact that they had to go, that they had it coming. I can't even fathom the fact that you people that have the nerve, the audacity to comment this stuff, you have never looked into John's backstory. In fact, I would argue that you never a day in your life had to deal with depression, suicide, or bullying. In fact, I would accuse you of being cornball ass niggas and bullies yourself if you ever think for a second that he had it coming. Comprehend how people can think like that. Are we such a fucking screwed up society? Nah, fuck that. We are a screwed up society. But you want to know what pisses me off even more about this story or this situation? Is that X is getting all the attention just from the fact that he's a meme and just from the fact of his for just a 10-second clip, but none of his other messages are stressed. None of them can actually go out to the people who are going through some shit. That's the problem. Oh, sure, X is a very, very complicated artist. X is sad. X is numb. X delves into emotions that people are not ready to comprehend. I can get all of that. But what we should be doing is not giving the meme now any of the attention. We should use the positive messages in his life. And furthermore, we should try to use those messages to try and reach out and help the people who are going through that. Look at the links I put in the description of the video. Look at his social media history. Fast forward to October 26th, and then not even October 26th, September 13th of 2017, and then work from there. His progression was it was so beautiful that tears start coming down. Now they did roll down my cheeks. My eyes got all watery and all emotional. Not that emotions are bad, but you want to know why? Because I can actually resonate with what he was saying. As ironic as it sounds, I was ostracized whenever I was at school from 12 all the way to 18 years old. And this is something that I never shared on YouTube before. I was 5150'd and placed in a juvenile detention center as a 13-year-old, as an 8th grader. People think that 5150 is only for adults. No. It's for younger people. It's for teenagers too. And because I was all gathered and suicidal and quiet, something that I couldn't control because when I was younger, I was an energetic little kid. I was talked down upon and given a talking down to because of how outspoken I was. So I try to kill myself. So I get it. It may be confusing to the people who don't understand his message. But to the people out there that think his death is justified and deserved, you are one of the bullies. You're no different from the multiple people who walked down on him throughout his time on Earth. And at one point pushed him into this despair, this pit in his life where he had the balls and the strength to commit suicide. I don't always believe that suicide or expressing your emotions is always a cowardly act. I've been around people who never experienced a loved one die or never dealt with depression or suicide. They'll say it's cowardly. But the true coward is not speaking up for someone who's going through their trials, going in that hell with them, being depressed, being on the outskirts of society, and fighting for their life. And that's all I can really say on the matter. This video went everywhere. this was off the cuff. I just needed to get some stuff off my chest because this has been really, really, really bothering me for a while. And I hope you guys get some reprieve from the fact that I'm talking about this man and how much I respect this guy, because he is a damn good person, especially later on. As always, stay tuned for more. Long live Ja, right? That shit still rings true 7 years later. Love you all. Bye.
Alright, let's say worst thing comes to worst, I fucking die a tragic death or some shit, and I'm not able to see out my dreams. I at least want to know that the kids perceived my message and were able to make something of themselves and able to take my message and use it and turn it into something positive, and to at least have a good life. I at least, if I'm gonna die or ever be a sacrifice, I want to make sure that my life made at least 5 million kids happy, or they found some sort of answers or resolve in my life, regardless of the negative around my name, regardless of the bad things people say to me. I don't give a fuck, because I know my goal in the end, and I know what I want for everyone, and I know what my message is. So I just wanted to say I appreciate and love all of you, and I believe in you all. Do not let your depression make you. Do not let your body define your soul. Let your soul define your body. Your mind is limitless. You are worth more than you could believe.